Father Brian, congratulations on the 10th anniversary of your ministry at the Cathedral of Saint James. It was a joy to be teamed up with you for 8 of those 10 years as your bishop. Our ministry together had a unique beginning. You will recall that initially your office was directly below mine, so when I wanted to get your attention, I would stomp on the floor. When you wanted to get my attention, you would get a stick and hit the ceiling. Eventually, we figured out how to use the intercom system, and so our communication became technologically more proficient. During our years together, you have enriched my life, and you continue to do so. You are a superb pastor, and I've seen you in action, ministering sometimes in the most difficult, painful, and tragic situations, and you do so with deep love. You are a powerful preacher. When I think of your sermons, I find myself pondering a line from St. Paul's letter to the Colossians, where he says this. He says, "Let your speech always be gracious, seasoned with salt." And that really encapsulates what you do. You always speak words of grace, but there's a seasoning, a spice that brings the word of God alive. You love God's people, and it shows. And you have led the cathedral over these years with grace and vision, and you have helped people to follow Jesus more faithfully. The gift of Brian Grants includes the gift of your family. I'm so grateful for all of them. For Tamison, for Nathan, for Jesse, for Thaddeus, for Rose. You have all been a blessing to me. And I praise God for all of you.
Hello, Brian. Greetings from sunny Orlando, Florida. Sorry to miss the celebration of your 10 years today at the cathedral, but I just wanted to say thank you for all that you've done as a friend, as a pastor, as the dean of the cathedral, to challenge us to be better Christians, better citizens, and a better community, and for your prayer and encouragements, both personally and as a cathedral parish member. As senior warden 10 years ago when we called you, it was one of the honors that I had in filling that role. So we look forward to seeing you when I'm back, and I hope you have a wonderful day, and thank you again for all that you've been for this cathedral.
Congratulations, Dean, on your 10th anniversary here at St. James. It's been a delight for me to come on Sundays and listen to your sermons. But as I understand it, I will not need my hearing aids when I get to heaven. Is that correct? Thanks a lot for everything. It's a joy.
When Father Bob Bizzaro retired, I was on the search committee as a chaplain, and I said to them they ought to consider Brian Grants. And it ended up that he is the one that they called, which made me very, very happy because I love the man. I always did. I might get a little emotional thinking about it. But Father Brian and I had a lot of opportunities to have fun. We were always picking on each other and just enjoying working together. And there was a lot of things that had happened while I was there. And then we went to visit people in the hospital and in their homes together once in a while. And so it was just, I was very, very happy to have had the opportunity to work with Father Brian Grants. And I hope, and I think all of you people out there should feel the same way, because he's done a lot of things at the cathedral that probably wouldn't have happened if it wasn't for Father Brian Grants. Thank you.
This is my first wedding at St. James as the Dean of the Cathedral, and I forgot to insert my sheet.
Yes, who, Father Brian? It's Sara.
And Kevin.
And we want to say congratulations on 10 years at the Cathedral. We were your first wedding almost 10 years ago on August 30th, 2018. In case you don't remember, you don't know, we now have 3 kids. We have Kerrigan, who's 4 and a half, Keegan, 3, and our sweet little Ellery May, 6 months. We live in Lexington, Kentucky now, and we've been here for almost 7 years. And we are very thankful for the blessings you gave us on our wedding day 10 years ago. Can you talk about that?
You know, we've been looking, we look every year at, we watch every year our wedding video, and one of the things that kind of rang true to us this year from your sermon during the service was Psalm 23. You joked a little bit, and rightly so, that Psalm 23 is typically, you know, it's a common funeral psalm, but, you know, it's very applicable to us, you know, the sermon that you gave, how it's applicable to marriage as far as the ups and the downs, but you're there for each other, and that's what matters in the end. And, you know, that's really stuck with us throughout the years, especially as our family's grown, we've moved to Kentucky. It's just really meant a lot to us.
So on your 10th anniversary, we just want to offer you this priestly blessing and say we hope you have many more years to come. So may the Lord bless you and keep you. May He make His face shine upon you. And may He be gracious to you. And may He turn His face towards you and give you His peace. Bye, Father Brian.
Bye, Father Brian. We love you. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. I would like to congratulate Father Brian on his 10th anniversary with us at St. James. It seems like only yesterday, Mike and I were asking you to marry us, and what a great wedding we had. I am so glad you were there to share with us in our joy, and I'm also glad that you were there to share Mike's final days. You made things much easier for me, and you really showed how much you cared for us. So thank you for being there at the beginning of our life together and at the end of our life together. And I just hope that you will be with us at St. James for many years to come.
My name's Aley, and I will want to talk about Father Brian, how he's important to me. He was there when I was born and when my dad died. And I appreciate him, and he appreciates me, and I just love him so much. He lets me be a torchbearer, even though I just have sometimes a little wiggle. And I like being a torchbearer because it just reminds me of just being remembered and being nice to him. And he takes care of me during camp. I just love all the counselors there and how he made the camp. And I'm glad he plays the guitar with my dad until my dad died. And yeah, that's it. Bye.
Hello, Father Brian. A couple of days ago, Christopher Hillak asked me to say a few words on our 10th anniversary of you being the Dean of the Cathedral Church of St. James in South Bend. It seems like 2 minutes is not quite enough time for me to express everything I would like to tell you at this point. But I think the most concise way to do it is to say thank you. Thank you for being my priest. Thank you for your depth of knowledge of the teachings of the Holy Bible and their application to modern day life. It is such a privilege for me to come to church, sit down and hear your perspectives. I enjoy them very much. They are very insightful. So thank you. You may recall that over the past 4 years I have been your senior warden. Those have been a real life lesson for me. I have learned over the past 4 years what a difficult job it is to manage a cathedral church, but you do it quite well. I am very grateful for your business knowledge, for your sense of fiscal responsibility, and for your stewardship of our resources. You are our visionary, our leader, and I'm grateful for your giving us our sense of identity and a clear-cut vision of our future. So, as a parishioner and as a former senior warden, I would like to say thank you. Thank you for all that you have done on our behalf. Oh, and happy 10th anniversary.
Hey, Father Brian. Thank you for 10 years of ministry here at the Cathedral of Saint James. I can't believe that I've been able to be a part of half of your time here, and it's just been a great experience. A few things that really stand out to me. As a new parishioner, I'd only been here probably 6 months when my grandma died, and you took my phone calls. You came and visited at the hospital, and that was just really impactful for me, especially as a new parishioner. Another thing that's really stood out to me was when we had our discussions about marriage prior to the 2015 General Convention during Adult Forum. You just listened to everyone's points of views, walked us through the curriculum, and really challenged our thinking and provided us information that a lot of us hadn't even thought about. It was an amazing experience. Of course, this last year, that took on a whole different level for me as we went through the discernment process at the cathedral about marriage. And of course, it resulted in Andrew and I being able to get married about 7 weeks ago. And again, you showed the deepness of your spirituality, your love for humankind through this entire process. And I just really appreciate that, and thank you for that. It's been my privilege to serve beside you on chapter for the past 3 years. And now as your senior warden. Through all the good and bad, you've always handled yourself with extreme professionalism. And, I have to say, I couldn't be more excited about where we are right now. We've had a lot of discussions about, inviting and welcoming and connecting people. And we're starting to put together a plan for how to do that. Of course, we're still working on accessibility issues and looking at how we make the next 10 years even better than the last 10 years. And I'm grateful that I get to be a part of that and serve with you. So congratulations again, and I can't wait to see what the next 10 years bring.
Grace and peace be with you in Jesus, the risen Christ. Greetings, sisters and brothers of the Cathedral of Saint James. I want to take this opportunity on the 10th anniversary of Dean Brian's beginning his ministry here to say a word of gratitude and also to offer a word of hope. I want to say a word of gratitude to Dean Brian and Tamison, their children, Nathan, Jesse, Thaddeus, Rose. It's really been a family commitment to serve as a family of faith, serving the people of this community of faith for these past 10 years, and not just the cathedral community, but also the wider church in the Diocese of Northern Indiana. It takes a lot of effort and a lot of sacrifice, I know well, for members of our families, and I'm so grateful for his ministry and their ministry among us. I also want to express a word of gratitude to Dean Brian for the work he's done in positioning the Cathedral of Saint James within the context of the city of South Bend. We are an inner city congregation. He's enriched the relationship with St. Margaret's House, Strawberries on the Blacktop, and all the other efforts, as well as opened the cathedral up in so many ways to communities of faith, gathering people of faith for prayer and concerns that are not just our own, but that belong to all of us as human beings. And now a word of hope. Dean Brian has brought his best efforts at trying to raise the capital funds that we need to really look at addressing the issues of accessibility and greater hospitality. And it still remains a very important concern for us. It's on the front burner of our concerns, and you'll be hearing more about our hopes and efforts to really raise more money to make the dream possible of the cathedral being an icon for ministry and formation and liturgy throughout the diocese. So, Dean Brian, thank you for your 10 years of ministry. We love you, pray for you and your family always. Grace and peace.
Congratulations, Father Brian. I wonder if God knows that he's lost one of his angels. He's walking around down here on earth, making the rest of us happy. We're so glad he's here.